Hey everyone, welcome back and thanks for checking out this video today. On today's video, you can see we are here outside, and we're outside because today we are doing a product installation that will be a lot easier to do out here than it would be to do it in a garage. Luckily for us, the weather is a lot warmer than it usually is, and it's hard to believe because of this weather that winter is just around the corner. And what that means is that ski season is just about to start. I'm super excited about this for this year because last year I actually tore my ACL in the summer and was not able to go skiing because I was still recovering from the surgery that I had. For this year, we have lots of plans to go skiing a lot more, and we actually have a few trips planned. Well, one of the things we had to think about is how are we going to transport 2 sets of skis? So in the past, what we typically would have done is we would have simply just folded down the single seat in the back and then laid the skis down lengthwise. This was an acceptable solution, but the only thing I didn't like about it was that you were constantly pulling skis in and out of the Jeep. And skis have sharp edges, so I always had a fear of them cutting the leather or the carpet. So that was always something that was on my mind. As well, for us, we have added Wrangler to our family, and for him, if he's going to be coming along with us on a couple of those trips, he's going to go in the back now. What we need to figure out is some type of solution for mounting the skis on the exterior of the Jeep for transportation. So there are a bunch of different solutions that I could have went with for my system. The first one was actually the hitch mount rack system, which is basically a rack that goes in the back of the hitch, comes up behind the spare tire, and then gives you the ability to mount your skis and snowboards vertically. Unfortunately, there's a couple of reasons I did not go with this. And that first one is because the only rack that's available is actually a 6 to 8 ski rack. And I'm not looking for a rack of that size. And that meant it would actually stick out pretty far. I just needed something that would hold 2 pairs of skis and a couple poles. So that was just an excessive rack that I did not need. The second reason is because of the price point, because it did hold 8 to 6 skis, and because of what the contraption was. The price point was just a little higher than I was willing to spend. And the last one, which is one that you could deal with, but it's definitely is something I thought about, is because you're mounting skis vertically behind the Jeep, they tend to collect a lot of the road dirt while driving. So it means you either have to make sure you wipe your skis off to get all that salt off to prevent the rusting, as well as just making sure they're clean. So that was the reason I didn't want to go with that. So another solution I was exploring, because that rack system was not going to be the one for me, was how could I mount a ski on the back of my spare tire? I thought, okay, well, maybe I could use the Rock Slide Engineer spare tire mount strap system and mount it on here, create some type of mount here to attach the ski carriers to, and then mount the skis vertically. Only problem about this, and the main downfall, was security. Because it was using this strap system, what it meant was that someone could come up and just simply undo the strap and walk away with the entire system. So that was the main reason I did not go with that. Another option that I had was actually a custom solution. And this custom solution was a mount for this back window on this hardtop. There's a lot of clip systems that clip from here to here and go over this window. I figured I could get one of those, mount the carriers to it, and then mount the skis horizontally up across these 2 windows. This would have worked. Yes, it would have meant that I wouldn't be able to open that door if the skis were on it, but I was willing to deal with that, and it would have worked. The only problem was it was kind of an experimental thing, so I didn't really want to go down that route. And I also knew that because you're going to mount these on the side of the vehicle, this would be also another reason that all the skis would get dirty from the front wheels, projecting dirt up onto them. Because those 3 solutions were not going to work for me, what I ended up doing was going with the basic solution, but it's also because it was a budget solution and it made more sense to me because I wasn't looking to spend too much for this solution. What I ended up going with was the roof rack style with the carriers up top and the cross members. The kit that I'm going to be installing today is a 2-piece kit. The first part is the holders. What I ended up going with was the Rhino-Rack 574 ski, snowboard, and fishing rod holders. This kit is designed to hold 4 sets of skis or 2 snowboards. And then if you're not using it in the winter, you can actually use it for fishing rods, which I believe it holds 4 fishing rods. The rack system that I'm pairing it with today, or the cross members, are the Hooke Road lightweight crossbeam roof rack. It is basically designed for a JK and a JL. These are lightweight. They can only hold up to 88 pounds, but that's all I really need for holding skis or fishing rods. If I needed something with a lot more weight or something to hold a tent, this would not be the solution, but for me, this is gonna be perfect. So guys, as usual, I'll put a link below for these two components. I'm not sure on the retail pricing for the components. I ended up scoring these at a really good Black Friday deals. Ended up spending only about $150 for both of them together, which I knew was a good deal because I think the Rhino-Racks by themselves go for $150. So definitely got a great deal. If you're interested in them for yourself, make sure to check out those links and you can see what the full price is going to be for this kit. So the first part to the assembly is going to be to put the carrier on the rack. Because this rack is designed with a channel in the middle here that's behind this rubber piece, we're going to remove the rubber piece. Then we're going to take this Rhino-Rack kit here. We're going to remove these brackets, and you can see there's a silver head here on this bolt. That is actually designed to go into that channel. So we're going to remove that, slide them onto the channels, and then we'll move on to the next step, which is going to be placing them on the Jeep. So now that we have these assembled and ready to go, the next part is to put it on the Jeep. So all we have to do right now is loosen the two bolts at the clamp ends of the crossbeam. Then we're going to go and position it on the Jeep. Then we're actually going to put the skis in the holder so that we can line everything up. Once we're happy with the position of everything, we're simply just going to tighten it all up. Then we're going to put the rubber gasket in, and then we'll take a look at the final results. So as you can see, the rack system is now installed, and I have to say the installation was really easy to do. I highly recommend that if you are purchasing this system, that you go ahead and do the installation yourself, because paying someone to do this is definitely going to be a waste of money. It is so easy that you really only need 3 tools. One is actually provided by Rhino-Rack themselves, and that is the Allen key that you need for all their hardware. Hooke Road does not provide you with the tools you need, but all you really need is a different size Allen key and a screwdriver. So you should probably already have that available, or if not, you can easily go get that for less than $5. One thing to mention about the installation is regarding the cross members. So the cross members are actually different lengths. The one in the middle here that we're using is the longer one, and the one at the back is the smaller. In my installation, I put the smaller one at the back, and that is because the hardtop actually tapers in at the back. So you use a smaller one there. If you were to flip this installation and put the skis more towards the front, you would actually use the smaller one up front, because the front is tapered, and then it tapers out to a thicker in the middle, and then goes back to thin. So they are designed for a specific reason and placement, so you just want to make sure that you're using the right length one in the right spot. This Rhino-Rack carrying system is designed for any cross members that you may have. So luckily with mine, I had the channel in the middle, so I actually removed the universal brackets and slid these into the channel. If your system does not have the channels, say you're using a stock cross members where it's just a bar that goes across, you can use the universal mounts that came with Rhino-Rack and the hardware provided and just clamp it to the system and then make that work. So it's great that they are very universal and work with any cross member you may have. So as for the fitment, you can see this fits really nice. The clearance between the Sky One Touch and the crossbars is perfect. It makes it so that these don't stick up really high. I am a little concerned about the clearance between the binding. It shouldn't be an issue. It's perfect right now. Hopefully no other skis will have an issue. If I do have an issue, simply all I can do is put them side by side instead of stacking them, and that will work just fine. The fitment of the clamps, you can see they're a little off. It's slightly skewed out, but I think it's still gonna hold and work properly. One thing I was concerned about is how tight to do the bolts. I didn't want to do it too tight because this is still just fiberglass, and I didn't want to crack it or break it. Right now I've done it to where I feel it's good. If I need to tighten it down the road, I'm going to make sure to keep that Allen key available so I can easily just tighten it up. As for function of the carriers, this system is really easy to do. All you simply do is press the button and it opens up. You can mount the skis and poles in that location, and then you simply just pull it back down, push it in until it clicks, and then you're good to go. One of the things you also have with this kit is it comes with a lock. So and it brings you a key, and simply all you would do is turn it in, lock it up, and then the button will no longer latch. This is great because it gives you the ability to put your skis up there, lock it in place, and know that they won't go missing if you've parked your Jeep in a different area. So I have an update for you guys about this installation for this rack system. Basically, after I was showing you guys the functions and how it works, I decided to take it for a drive because I'd heard some complaints about some whistling or noise that occurs when you have this type of rack system. So I wanted to see if that was happening. Luckily, when I was driving, I didn't hear any whistling, but what I had was an issue that has to do with the Sky One Touch hardtop. Basically, if anybody's ever had a soft top or a Sky One Touch, when you get close enough to the truck, what happens is the wind won't come down and push on the soft top anymore. So then you start to get flapping going on. Well, this actually occurs when you have a rack on top of the Sky One Touch. So originally I had the rack mounted about here, and I had the back one here. What was happening was there is different bars in the Sky One Touch. You have ones that are connected into the track, and then you have ones that are sitting on the track. Well, what was happening was the wind was getting pulled away from pushing down on the material. So it was causing the ones that were sitting on top of the track to vibrate up and down, making a rattling noise. So what I had to do was I actually had to move this mounting system back. So I brought the back one as far as I could, and then I brought this one as far as I could back as well, based on the skis. I actually ended up turning my skis for one reason. I put the longer end up front. They say not to do this because of the tips. Well, I have tips on both my skis, and I know the girlfriend skis are the same, so it's not really going to matter. So I put my longer ends going this way, because if I had the longer ones going this way, when you open up the window, it would contact it. Right now, it won't. So this setup seems pretty good. I have reduced the amount of vibration going on. Basically, when it was mounted up here, you would have vibration occurring here, you would have it here and here. Now, by moving it back, there's only one rail here that is floating rail. So what I actually did in the interior to be a temporary solution is I actually went ahead and put some zip ties. So what I did was I grabbed onto that bar, the one that's floating, and I zip tied it. This is definitely going to reduce the amount of vibration that I get, so it should help the solution. So I think with the addition of the zip ties on the inside, and by moving these arms as far as back on the hardtop as possible, I think we have solved the issue that we were having with the vibration of the soft panel on the Sky One Touch hardtop. If anybody with a Sky One Touch hardtop is thinking of doing this, I highly recommend that you do install it as far back as possible. You might not need the zip ties. I didn't necessarily need them when I first moved this back, but I've added them just to make it better. I definitely do not recommend installing it up front, as if you install it up front, you're definitely going to be disrupting the air sooner in the vehicle, which is going to have more points of vibration throughout the top. If you have a hard top, you don't even have to worry about this. You can mount it anywhere on the top because you do not have to worry about the downforce on the fabric area. One more thing I want to mention is the extra height that these brackets give your Jeep. They add about 6 inches to the top of your Jeep. So if you have a lifted Jeep and you have some areas that you go in low clearance, make sure you remember that you now have an additional 6 inches of height on top of your Jeep. For myself, it's not big of a problem. I do park in a parking garage where clearance is an issue, but because I have the AccuAir system, I can simply just lower down the back of the Jeep so that I can get through those low clearance areas and park my Jeep where I need to. So my overall thoughts and opinions of this system are that it is a perfect system for a budget. I wasn't willing to spend a lot, and this rail system with the Rhino-Rack Carriers is perfect. It's going to give me the ability to mount my skis on the exterior of the Jeep, avoiding the need to slide my skis in and out of the Jeep, causing possible damage. Also give Wrangler the space he needs in the back for our long trips. These rails are not designed for heavy weight. You wouldn't use them for a roof tent, but they're perfect for this type of use, or for myself, because now I have the Sky One Touch. If I ever wanted to move a mattress, I could simply remove those carriers, use these rails, move one ahead, put the mattress on, and I would know that it wasn't contacting my Sky One Touch. So if you want to check out this product for yourself, I'll put the links below and you can take a look at them. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to post them below and I'll do the best to answer them. And as usual, please make sure to like, subscribe, and share. And we'll see you guys on the next video.